Today's guest is Stuart Beaver from Cazenove Capital, part of the Schroders Group, which actually leads us nicely on to sort of looking at alternatives and the tax efficient space.
But the ability to get a return that's attractive, that is in a space where they've got things that they're quite interested in, and in areas that can be sometimes quite difficult to get into a main part of a portfolio. If you're just starting out, getting access to small startup companies within a portfolio is quite difficult. Most of your traditional investments are going to be in main listed markets. Mm-hmm. So it can be quite an interesting space for people to go, actually, this is the investment story and this is why it's interesting. And we can't get away from, we're actually very good at this in this country.
Yes.
We're really good at taking ideas and making them into good businesses.
Which obviously brings us nicely onto technology and obviously Growth Invest. You use platforms across all your vanilla investments. Are you beginning to see a real demand and a need really for technology to come into this place? I mean, we've got consumer duty now as well.
So as a firm, we think it's incredibly important, and it's driven by customer and client outcome.
Yep.
We also then have issues which we've touched on before, where a client moves to us, they bring the previous investments with them, and they've got a lot of cash sat with a relatively small custodian carrying the risk of that, and moving that money off might not be as fast as we would like it to be. Mm-hmm. So getting on top of that and having something which makes it easier for us to be able to see and monitor, across a massive client book. And so getting something to provide us with better data is incredibly important.
One of the topics to go on to, and you kind of touched on it earlier about the ESG and the sustainability piece with the younger generation coming on the investment.
It's a learning journey. It's incredibly important. We think as a firm it's an incredibly important part of the investment going forwards. Mm-hmm. And it's our duty as wealth managers and custodians of wealth to think not just about risk and return, but also that long-term risk and that ESG risk. Yeah. And it's an incredibly important part of just our general portfolios. I think it's going to be incredibly important, really, really vital. And the next generation, as we touched on before, very much more focused on it and want to get really into the weeds about why and how and what is not going to be happening as much as what is going to be happening within their portfolio.
To hear more, tune in to either YouTube or all good podcast channels.